I woke up this morning to the news that Microsoft is no longer going to be holding an observational board seat on OpenAI's board, and that Apple, who was going to take one of these observational board seats, is no longer going to be engaging with OpenAI in that way. This is one of those rare situations where you actually can see regulatory scrutiny working in the favor of the people. My name is Paige Lord. I'm an artificial intelligence ethicist. So I woke up to this news. This is the first thing my husband told me when he got out of bed this morning, was that Microsoft and Apple are no longer going to have observational board seats on OpenAI's board. Well, how did they even get there in the first place? With Microsoft, they got an observational board seat on OpenAI's board because they had made a significant investment in the company, and then all of a sudden everything kind of went haywire when Sam Altman was unceremoniously fired from the OpenAI board, and then he was brought back on, and then the whole entire board was wiped. And then Microsoft stepped in and said, hey, in order for us to continue this investment, we need to make sure that this board is stable. So they didn't want a voting seat, but they had an observational board seat. And I don't know this for sure, but I think that we can probably conclude that they had a chance to speak up and give their opinions about the different things that the board was dealing with at the time. So not a voting seat, but certainly a significant seat. Apple was in talks of taking on one of these seats as well alongside Microsoft. And the reason is because Apple is going to be bringing ChatGPT to their iPhone, which is really significant and a huge business deal. And I thought it might be because these large companies might be distancing themselves from OpenAI. That was my first thought, was like Microsoft and Apple are thinking that they can't really be that close in business with OpenAI. But that isn't the reason that's cited. The reason that's cited is regulatory scrutiny. And I think this is actually a win for humanity and a win for us in responsible AI, that there would even be this level of scrutiny on companies this large. Entities in the European Union and in the United States are both taking a really close look at these huge relationships, specifically Microsoft's partnership with OpenAI, but they're also looking at Google, Amazon, and Anthropic. They want to make sure that there aren't just like these huge mega companies that are being built that kind of block everybody else out. And that has to do with competition, right? They don't want there to be a lack of competition in this space, especially because it's so early, especially because it's brand new innovation. You can't have so many large companies being tied up with each other that no other companies can get a word in edgewise. Honestly, I think this is a win, and I think that this is a win for humanity because it means that the regulations and the entities that we have in place to take a look at these relationships are leaning into that level of scrutiny to make sure that we aren't being put in a bad position because all of these large companies, which had access to each other, decided to just form these partnerships. I think that it shows that both the EU and the United States are really focused on innovation, but not innovation at all costs. And that's a win for us.